Good morning to all my students. Today I am going to talk about a very catchy topic. Previously I discussed with you about the Cold War, that the Cold War which began after the Second World War between the two uh, superpowers. On one side it was the United States of America, on other side it was the Soviet Union. And I also told you previous lectures who actually termed who coined this term Cold War. Actually, it was George Orwell. Then, in the American context, this term was, actually uh, said by Bernard Baruch, and then later on, it was popularized by Walter Lippmann. Anyway, then we have also seen uh, the Cold War situation which remained between these two countries. There was a very much a Cold War type of situation, and it remained permanently up to 1989. Once we have seen one of the superpower got disintegrated. Anyway, you are going to like today's lecture, and let me go to directly to my today's lecture. I think we are going to discuss today, the causes of Cold War. What remained the causes of the Cold War between the two superpowers. Directly coming to the point, the first point I want to discuss here, the ideology. Ideology remained a very important cause of concern between the two superpowers, because as you might be knowing that there were two ideologies between the two superpowers. On one side, the Soviet Union was representing the communism ideology, which is entirely different from the ideology which was represented by the United States of America, on which the United States of America and other Western allies they believe in. Uh, that is the liberal democratic ideology. And so that this ideological this ideological difference, or this ideology, plays a very important role in creating or in escalating the tensions and mistrust between the two superpowers, and that has really caused a lot of tension between the two superpowers. The ideology has been the it had been the very important cause of the Cold War situation. Second thing is actually the propaganda. Once you are in a war type of situation, whether it is a hot war, it is a cold war situation, and the two sides they always prefer to use the propaganda against each other, and that has been quite it was quite used in a cold war situation, because the United States of America and its allies, that means the Western allies and the Eurocentric powers, they used this propaganda war against the Soviet Union, and they sometimes they reflect it, in newspapers, and that it is the excess of evil. Communism is a kind of evil ideology, and we have to stop it, and we have to do everything possible for the containment of the communism. And so this propaganda war, as we all know, also that sometimes the media plays a very important role in order to create a kind of not a good image against any power. So propaganda was used, by both countries, by both superpowers against one another, and that was also one of the cause of the Cold War. On one side, the United States of America used propaganda war against the Soviet Union, and same was the case was on the other side. The Soviet Union used the propaganda war against the Western allies. They believed that the Western countries, or the United States of America, is they are the exploiters of the entire world, and they are trying to impose their Western ideology on other countries of the world, and that is something we are not gonna like it. The Soviet Union has said this thing, and we are going to check it. And the third point is the veto power. Whenever the differences arise between the two superpowers, the most of the times the veto power was misused by Soviet Union, and they try to use it as a kind of in order to protect their national interests. So they use most of the time is the veto power, and same was the case, especially it was with the Soviet Union. And then also then we have seen also the armor sale. The Cold War situation was such, it was such a scenario that all the times both the countries they prepared for the for war type of situation, which didn't happen actually. It was a Cold War situation. Even though in 1962 we have seen some hot war type of situation, but it did not work that way. But almost but most both the countries did try to invest a lot of money in producing nuclear weapons, WMDs, and jets, supersonic jets, and many other uh, weapons, and which they want to create fear psychosis in international system against each other. And therefore this armor sale was always cause of concern, and escalated a kind of this Cold War situation between the two superpowers. Then we have also seen the expansionism of the communism. Expansionism. The United States of America and the other Eurocentric powers, and particularly the United States of America, they did not like to see that communism should separate from Soviet Union to other parts of the world, particularly in European hemisphere and other parts of the world, maybe in Africa, in Asia, and any other, in Latin America. So they therefore checked this communism, and they try, for example, under Marshall Plan, under Truman Doctrine, they provided a lot of millions of dollars to the countries which were affected by communism, so that those countries can be taken away from the influence of the communism. For example, the Greek and Turkey were provided a lot of money, and many other countries. So that was a kind of the United States of America and Eurocentric allies. They wanted to check this communism, and they said we have to do it everything possible to make sure that this communism should be controlled by all means, and they were doing this in collaboration, and because they didn't see the expansionism of communism, and that is going to be something against their liberal democratic ideology. It is going to be their it is going. They were thinking in a sense that the Soviet Union is going to have a lot of influence on other countries of the world. So this expansionism of communism was not seen by the by United States of America as a good gesture. This they have seen it rather as a kind of biggest problem or a major problem for them, and therefore they use it as a containment of communism policy against the Soviet Union. Then we have also seen inadequate resources given to USSR by USA and other Western powers. The United States of America always created hurdles in terms of providing economic assistance whenever it was needed by Soviet Union, and United States of America and the Western allies, they want to support economic point of view to Soviet Union, so they try to minimize the budget to make it minimal portion, economic portion, and therefore inadequate Western aid to USSR by USA is something. It was not seen by the Soviet Union as a good gesture, and it also created or escalated and increased this Cold War situation. Then we have also seen when the Germany actually attacked on Soviet Union in 1941, and when the Soviet Union needed help from the Allied powers, particularly from Britain, United Kingdom, and the United States of America, the Soviet Union thought that they delayed this cooperation and this help to Soviet Union in order to see both Soviet Union should be affected by this war type of situation. But later on the help was provided. But delay in opening second front against Germany was also one of the cause of concern, and it also escalated this Cold War situation. It was also one of the cause, and then also abrupt end of the lease agreement. This was also considered. Previously in 1941, what we have seen that there was a kind of agreement between the Soviet Union with Allied powers, because Soviet Union was also the part and parcel of the Allied powers, and there was an agreement in terms of arms, ammunitions, food, and many other trade deal between them, so that United States of America and Western allies, they were providing this kind of help, food help, ammunition, and many other weapons and jets. But it was abruptly stopped in 1945. So this agreement was stopped by the Western powers. So I think these were all the important causes of the Cold War situation, whether it is ideology, propaganda, veto power, delay in opening second front, armor sale, or inadequate Western aid to USSR by USA, and abrupt end of the lease agreement, and expansionism of communism in Europe and other parts of the world. So I hope that it had made a sense, to all of you, and you are going to like my lecture. Please listen and subscribe my lectures, and like them and share them. Thank you so much for hearing. See you for next time. Take care of yourself.